Halloween is right around the corner, and if you're throwing a party, I've got you covered. Today we're making 5 different dishes from drinks to dessert, all themed, all delicious, and all guaranteed to impress your guests. Let's dive in. We'll start with a simple but dramatic drink, the blood orange spritz. All you need to do is slice your blood oranges in half and squeeze out the juice. Add a few ice cubes to a wine glass, then add your Aperol or bitter of choice. Pour in your freshly squeezed juice and top it up with Prosecco. Add a beautiful slice of blood orange and a sprig of rosemary and you're ready to party. If you want to keep things booze-free, this Grenadine Mojito Mocktail has all the flavor with none of the regret. Start by cutting your lime in half and squeeze out the juice. Add the juice and the mint leaves to a tall glass and give them a gentle muddling. Add a few ice cubes and top it up with ginger ale. For that dramatic blood drop look and a burst of flavor, finish with a few drops of Grenadine. Garnish with a slice of lime and a sprig of mint and you're done. Next up, our first snack, Spiderweb Guacamole. Start by roughly dicing your onion and jalapeno. I didn't have a jalapeno available, so I went for a green pepperoncino instead. Finally, roughly chop your cilantro. Add your onion, jalapeno, and half of your cilantro to a mortar and pestle and pound them into a chunky paste. This releases their juices and helps blend the flavors. Next, cut your avocados in half and carefully remove the pit. Add them to a bowl along with your paste, lime juice, and a generous pinch of salt. Mash everything together using a fork or a whisk until you reach your preferred texture. Stir through your remaining cilantro and we're ready to serve. Add your guac to your serving bowl and for that spooky vibe, throw a simple spiderweb on top using sour cream or Mexican crema. Serve with purple potato chips to stay on theme. As an alternative but equally striking dip for our chips, we have a roasted red salsa. This one is super simple. Just cut your onion and tomatoes in half, then add them to a baking tray along with your jalapeno, or in my case pepperoncino, and garlic. Coat everything in oil and put it under the broiler until it's slightly blackened and smoky. Add all those lovely roasted veggies to a food processor along with lime juice, cilantro, and a pinch of sugar. Blitz it up, and just like that you have a fiery, fresh alternative to your guacamole. Now for the centerpiece, pumpkin-shaped arancini. We're making 2 different versions here, an orange vegetarian one filled with cheese and a dark one with a chorizo filling. We start by making a simple roasted pumpkin puree. Cut your pumpkin in half and remove all the seeds and stringy bits. Coat them in oil and place them on a baking tray. Roast them in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit until soft and tender. Scoop out all the flesh and blend until smooth. Next up, let's make a simple risotto. Finely dice an onion. Add some olive oil to a pot and sauté your onions until translucent. Add your uncooked rice and stir fry for a couple of minutes. Deglaze your pot with white wine and cook until it has mostly been absorbed by the rice. Add a splash of stock at a time and while constantly stirring, let simmer until most of the liquid has been absorbed. Repeat until the rice is cooked through and you have a creamy consistency. Vigorously stir in your butter and parmesan to finish until you end up with a glossy, creamy risotto. Season to taste and take it off the heat. And that's the base done. Now let's make things spooky. For our purposes, we divide the risotto into 2 equal portions. One half we're going to turn bright orange by mixing in our pumpkin puree, some extra parmesan, and finely chopped sage. The other half of our risotto we turn dark by adding a drop of squid ink or black food coloring. And just like that, we end up with the perfect Halloween colors. While the risotto cools down, we're preparing our chorizo filling. Finely dice an onion and cube your chorizo. Add them both to a pan with a glug of olive oil and fry until the fat has rendered out and the chorizo is starting to crisp up. Add your tomato paste and a pinch of sugar and continue frying for a couple of minutes until everything is well combined. Once everything has cooled down and you're ready to assemble, cut your mozzarella into nice big chunks. Then add a few tablespoons of your orange risotto to your hand and form a well in the middle. Add a block of mozzarella and top it off with a bit more risotto. Form into a ball and repeat with the rest of the ingredients. Follow exactly the same procedure with a black risotto and chorizo filling until all the ingredients have been turned into balls. While our oil is preheating, let's prepare our penne station with flour, eggs and breadcrumbs. First, coat your arancini in flour, then dip them into the egg, and finally coat them in breadcrumbs. For the black arancini, we use crumbled up purple potato chips instead of normal breadcrumbs. Otherwise, the process is identical. To turn our arancini into little pumpkins, gently tie some kitchen yarn around them to create these pumpkin-like segments. Once the oil reaches about 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, carefully submerge your arancini and fry for a couple of minutes until crisp and golden. Give your dark arancini the same treatment and immediately serve with marinara sauce. And to finish, dessert. A chocolate Frangipane tart with a red berry sauce. For our short crust pastry, mix together your flour, cocoa powder, instant coffee, almonds and sugar. Add your cold cubed butter and use your hands to crumble everything together until it looks like wet sand. Crack in your egg and combine. Gently bring your mixture together into a dough and wrap in cling film. Let it chill in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Once thoroughly chilled, lightly dust your work surface with flour and roll out your dough to about 5 mm or 1/5 of an inch and carefully transfer to your prepared baking tin. My dough turned out to be a bit of a diva and kept sticking to the surface and ripping apart, probably because I didn't leave it in the fridge long enough. But if that happens, don't panic. You can still patch things up once you've partially transferred your dough to the tin and it will still turn out great, I promise. After trimming up your edges, use a fork to poke some holes in the base of the dough. Then move it back to the fridge until we're ready with our filling. For that, simply combine your soft butter with icing sugar, ground almonds and cocoa powder. Once they form a cohesive paste, add your eggs and continue whisking vigorously until smooth and a bit lighter in color. Finish with a tiny bit of rum and vanilla paste for some extra depth of flavor. Spread the filling evenly into your prepared tin. Bake on the lower rack of your oven for approximately 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit until your crust crisps up and the filling has set. While the tart is baking, let's prepare our berry sauce. In a small saucepan, simply add your frozen mixed berries with some sugar and a squeeze of lemon and gently simmer until you end up with a luscious, deep red sauce. Optionally, you can strain the sauce through a fine mesh sieve for an extra smooth consistency. To really drive home our Halloween theme, dip your hand into your berry sauce and place a bloody handprint at the bottom of your plate. Add a slice of your tart and top it off with some crumbled up Oreos for that graveyard dirt vibe. 'Cause you know, Halloween. And there you have it, a full Halloween menu to scare and impress your guests. Whether you go for the drinks, the snacks, or the spooky little arancini pumpkins, there's something for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a thing or two. Have a spooky Halloween and until next time, aguete.